Hi bestie, buckle up because this situation with Cardi B, Stefon Diggs, Offset, and Cardi canceling concerts at the very last minute is getting way messier than anyone expected. Fans are freaking out online, blogs are spinning with theories, and the timeline is trying to piece together what is really going on. Because the timing of everything is insane. Something is definitely going on with Cardi B because the way she just shut down an entire concert overseas. Yeah, that wasn't small news. That was the kind of move that makes everybody look around like, wait, what's happening behind the scenes? Cardi backed out of performing in Saudi Arabia, and not just any performance, a massive festival where organizers were literally throwing millions at her just to show up. And now, those executives look heated, like, how did we lose our headliner 48 hours before the show? Heated. And what's wild is people aren't even focused on the cancellation anymore. The whole internet pivoted instantly to the rumor that Cardi and Stefon Diggs supposedly tied the knot in secret. Yup. Secret marriage rumors are flying everywhere, and suddenly everyone's acting like we accidentally opened the wrong group chat. But let's slow down because this whole situation has layers. And once you peel one back, another one pops up like it's saying, hey, don't forget about me. So here's how things spiraled. According to The Sun, Cardi refused to fly to Riyadh after the birth of her baby boy. That part makes sense. She just had a newborn. She's recovering. She's adjusting. But the timing? The timing is suspicious because it's right after all that talk of Stefon allegedly proposing, and that's where the internet fully lost its mind. Because if Cardi really did get a proposal, or is even thinking about marriage, how would that even work when she's still legally married to Offset? Like, let's be real, like you can't have a husband on paper and a husband at home at the same time. That's not how the maths. But then again, this situation isn't normal math, it's celebrity math. And celebrity math always comes with surprise variables. Now here's the part that's driving people crazy. Even though Cardi is still legally married, I honestly do think Stefon would marry her in a heartbeat. He gives off that energy like he wants the full package. The commitment, the public love story, the cute photo ops, all of it. It's giving Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift NFL fairy tale, but make it more chaotic. And let's be real, the NFL loves a headline. The music industry loves a headline. The internet really loves a headline. Stefon linking up with Cardi checks all three boxes. Plus, Stefon has always hinted that he wants to dip into acting, endorsements, lifestyle branding, everything. And who better to stand next to in that world than Cardi B? She's literally one of the most recognizable celebrities on the planet. He knows what he's doing, but there's one giant problem sitting in the middle of all this. Offset. Offset is the plot twist in Cardi's life that refuses to end. And let's not pretend we don't see the pattern. Like, he is stalling this divorce like it's his full-time job. Every time someone asks why Cardi isn't divorced yet, the answer basically writes itself. Offset won't finalize anything because he wants something out of it. And what does he want? Money, power, control. All three? Maybe, but it's no secret Offset has been dealing with debt and financial issues. And Cardi? Cardi is a walking ATM of success. Tours, deals, albums, brand partnerships. Offset knows that being legally tied to her gives him protection, leverage, and possibly a slice of her earnings if he plays things the right way. And let's be honest, he probably believes that as long as they're married, Cardi won't fully cut him off. Even worse, his family seems to support every wild thing he does. His mom and his sister defend him like their rent depends on it, and maybe, just maybe, it actually does. So imagine what this means. If Cardi remarried, that safety net is gone. If she moves on, Offset loses access. If she officially commits to Stefon, Offset loses the final tie he has to her success. And that right there, that's enough motivation for someone to hold a divorce hostage for as long as legally possible. So back to the big question. Could Cardi and Stefon actually be married? Well, look, they have a new baby. They have chemistry. They've been appearing together more confidently. They're moving like a unit. But Cardi is still legally married, so unless she magically teleported into a courtroom and signed divorce papers without the world noticing, the idea that she is legally married to Stefon doesn't add up. Engaged? Possibly. Committed? Definitely. Acting like a married couple? Absolutely. But officially married? Not yet. And that's why this rumor is making people lose their minds, because the situation is messy enough to feel almost believable, but impossible enough to make everyone say, hold on, something isn't adding up. What we do know is that Cardi pulling out of that Saudi festival last minute is not random. When an artist backs out of millions, it's never because they didn't feel like it. It's always because something big is happening behind the scenes. Something personal, something pressuring, something unexpected. So the question isn't just, did Cardi get married? It's what changed so drastically in her life that she was willing to lose millions overnight. So let's really dive into this, because the big question on everyone's mind right now is Cardi B okay? Because canceling a concert isn't just skipping a day's work, especially when we're talking about a massive international festival in Saudi Arabia. This isn't some small local gig. This is MDL Beast Soundstorm, a festival that spent over $225 million on securing a top-tier lineup. Losing Cardi B, that's a huge hit, and according to insiders, the whole situation is being described as a straight-up C show. The source said the festival organizers are scrambling and stressed because the cancellation has created serious tension with Saudi officials. When a government-funded event invests this heavily, I think millions in contracts, logistics, flights, accommodations, and security, and they aren't just gonna shrug it off. Cardi was supposed to headline alongside other massive names like Calvin Harris and Post Malone. But now they're in a bind trying to find a replacement of equal stature. That's no small feat, and here's where it gets even messier. Ticket sales reportedly haven't sold out completely, and apparently that made Cardi B even more determined not to perform. That's right. It's like the universe kept adding fuel to her decision. Even though she signed the contract knowing she just had a baby, organizers offered upgrades, VIP accommodations, even better travel arrangements. But Cardi dug her heels in and said no, nothing changed her mind. Now, think about this for a second. Cardi just gave birth to her 4th child on November 4th. That's barely a week before the festival. Anyone who's ever had a newborn knows the first few weeks, actually the first few months, are critical for recovery. Physically, emotionally, mentally. The postpartum period is when a new mom needs the most care and rest, and Cardi, being the powerhouse she is, probably knows her limits. She can't just hop on a plane, jump into a high-energy show, and risk her health or her baby's well-being. Some fans even speculated that politics could be a factor. Saudi Arabia is a complicated place, and Cardi B is known to take public stances on social issues. Some people are saying maybe she pulled out for alleged human rights concerns. That could be part of it, but honestly, timing matters and having a newborn takes top priority. Cardi isn't just thinking about contracts or headlines. She's thinking about her family and her recovery. The festival organizers are reportedly panicking. They have literally days to react, replace a headliner, adjust schedules, and manage fan expectations. Yeah, the pressure is insane. Last-minute cancellations like this can damage a festival's reputation, and the stakes are even higher because this is a global event with international coverage. But here's the thing. Cardi B has consistently shown she knows her worth and her limits. She's not just letting money dictate her life. She just had a baby. She just gave birth to a healthy son, and the postpartum period is sacred. The physical recovery, the mental adjustment, the emotional bonding, all of that takes precedence. This isn't laziness. This is self-care at the highest level. So let's ask the questions everyone's thinking right now. Why did Cardi B cancel her Saudi performance? When exactly was the MDLB Soundstorm Festival scheduled? How have the organizers responded? Is this about postpartum recovery, personal safety, or political concerns? From the sound of it, it seems like a combination of factors. Cardi's health, her baby, the stress of travel, and perhaps even the looming rumors about her relationship with Stefon Diggs. All of this adds up. And honestly, pulling out might have been the smartest decision she could make, even if it costs millions. Because at the end of the day, her body and her family come first, and nothing else matters more than that. So what do y'all think? Did Cardi have medical reasons? Is it about the festival pressure? Or is there more to the story we haven't heard yet? Let me know in the comments. I really want to hear your thoughts on this because this situation is massive, layered, and it's still unfolding. Alright, that's all for now. I'll keep you updated as more details come in. Stay tuned because this saga is far from over.